Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us here today. This is Spotlight with Mercy on KAFTAN Television here in Abuja. My name is Mercy Emelite. Well, so much to talk about and so much to discuss in Nigeria today, because why Nigeria as a nation is faced with so many economic crises, security, electricity, otherwise, but the political scenario has overshadowed all that we should be talking about, or that is endeavoring Nigeria today. So recently, or rather day before yesterday, we could see the coalition that had prominent political figures of this nation. We'll talk about Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Nasiru El-Rufai, former Senate President David Mark, who is a member of the PDP, though he has left the PDP to join the ADC, and of course the interim chairman of the new coalition party known as the ADC. But before now, people are beginning to ask, what happens to the ADA political party that was sent to INEC for registration? In the midst of this coalition, there are so many questions Nigerians has been asking. Is this really truly going to unseat this current administration, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or is it just going to be drama as usual? But then it's beginning to get interesting, seeing some political figures who has joined this coalition to unseat the current administration, that is the APC. It's a lot and it's getting interesting. But before we bring you our analysts to help us make sense out of all this drama, we'll allow you to see some of our political roundup stories.
On the political roundup today, in a bid to advance gender inclusion and technical skills development in the Nigerian automotive industry, the National Automotive Design and Development Council, in collaboration with the Office of the Executive Governor of Edo State and the Lady Mechanic Initiative (LMI), organized a 5-day specialized training on compressed natural gas (CNG) vehicle conversion for women. Speaking at the opening ceremony, the NADDC's Director General Oluwamimo Joseph Osanipin, represented by the Deputy Director Industrial Infrastructure Department of the Council, Joke Onireti, expressed delight as the initiative, describing it as a significant step towards promoting gender equality and economic empowerment in Nigeria's automotive sector. He highlighted that training female technicians will greatly contribute to the growth of the auto industry, especially within the expanding CNG ecosystem. The founder of the Lady Mechanic Initiative, Engineer Sandra Obebo, announced that over 50 women were enrolled for the training. She expressed gratitude to NADDC and the Edo State government for supporting the empowerment of women mechanics in the state. Engineer Obebo also noted the increasing presence of women in technical roles nationwide, citing the example of the Nigerian Port Authority, which employs many female truck drivers. Also, Amina Gambo, Lady Mechanic Coordinator for Kano State, highlighted the benefits of CNG technology. She clarified to the audience that CNG is not the same as cooking gas, rather, it is carbon-free, clean, and safe for automotive use. The trainees expressed their enthusiasm and assured NADDC, the Edo State government, and the Lady Mechanic Initiative of their commitment to succeed and to justify the trust placed in them. And now the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC) has taken a significant step towards promoting international best practices in the Nigerian automotive ecosystem by organizing a stakeholder sensitization and advocacy workshop on the end-of-life vehicle (ELV) and other auto waste recycling regulation. The workshop brought together key stakeholders from the automotive value chain, including policymakers, industry operators, environmental experts, and regulatory agencies. The primary objective was to create awareness, build capacity, and foster collective action towards effective implementation of the ELV and auto waste recycling regulation. Speaking at the event, the NADDC Director General, Mr. Oluwamimo Joseph Osinipin, expressed the need for collective action to ensure full implementation of the policy. Meanwhile, the Director General said that a dedicated steering committee comprising relevant stakeholders with relevant expertise will be established to drive the implementation strategy. He stressed that the implementation strategy will focus on the effective management and recycling of automotive waste, promoting environmental sustainability, creating job opportunities, and generating revenue through circular economic practices. Osenipin expressed gratitude to the Honorable Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Owem, and Honorable Ubo for their support and visionary leadership in bringing this regulation to fruition. He also thanked esteemed stakeholders for their tremendous contributions and continued cooperation. Honorable Tieze Ubo, Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Environmental, reaffirmed the committee's commitment to promoting environmental sustainability. And lastly, on the political roundup, the Nigerian Senate has formally urged the federal government to prioritize engaging local indigenous contractors in the execution of small-scale federal government contracts to stimulate grassroots economic development. This call was sequel to a motion sponsored by Senator Sadiq Suleiman during Wednesday plenary session. Senator Suleiman Kwara had, in his own motion, emphasized that involving local contractors will enhance community participation, create jobs, boost productivity, foster ownership of public projects, and ensure government spending circulates within local economies.
Engaging local contractors for such contracts will significantly enhance community participation, job creation, increase productivity, foster a sense of ownership in public projects.
Senators expressed dissatisfaction with the current lack of involvement of local contractors in federal contracts, linking it to reduced economic growth and fewer employment opportunities.
Recently, the federal government have increased the threshold of contracts. Doing so will also make it very difficult for local contractors to be able to gain into it. So my appeal is that the federal government should look at the possibility of assisting these local contractors, especially those with low income. A project or a bricklayer or a iron bender that can do a project of 50 million naira will not be able to do it locally. They will bring somebody from somewhere to come and do it because he has been able to meet all the requirements. So all we need to do is to ask BPP to adjust their requirements so that everyone will be able to at least gain, and that will raise the economic activities in our localities.
So I think this particular motion is timely, is welcome. This is people's motion. This is local people's motion. For some of us who are local contractors before coming to the National Assembly, this is a very good feeling. And I look back and I've led people who are unable to meet up because they don't have these requirements. Even while I was outside there, it took time for me to also meet the requirements of the BPE.
First of all, let me commend the mover of the motion for bringing this motion forward, because we are being shortchanged. Our contractors are being shortchanged in their land, because jobs, contracts that are supposed to be awarded and executed by local contractors are given to foreigners. It's not as if we don't like foreigners, but no, people should not remain jobless. Those who have taken onto themselves to be local contractors, they should be patronized.
We also have to educate, persuade, and enlighten Nigeria businessmen and women, particularly the construction industry, in trying to be patriotic, not only to give contract to a Nigerian, but the Nigeria that has stake in my state. What did I find? I was forced to have to revoke that contract because of the poor quality of work.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, supported amending existing laws to make it easier and more flexible for local contractors to win contracts, highlighting the need for a level playing field.
Because with the prayers that we have adopted today, I believe this will cure all the defects that we have found in the contracting system and the shortchanging of local contractors and even the unnecessary conditionalities of experience when you have never been given an opportunity. And also the idea of shutting out newly registered companies from participating, even when the profile of the board members or the ownership, clearly show capacity to perform.
The Senate mandated its Committee on Public Procurement and Local Content to engage the Bureau of Public Procurement (BPP) to plan and implement policies that will ensure local contractors have fair access to federal government contracts. The Senate also supports legislation mandating ministries, departments and agencies (MDAS) to prioritize local manufacturers and indigenous companies in procurement processes to boost local industry and reduce reliance on foreign fame. And it's a wrap on the political roundup. Now back to the main studio.
Well, that is on our political roundup stories. Now we'll quickly take a short break, and when we return, we'll dive deep into the conversation. To stay right there with us.
Dream that one day.
Do you also have a dream in filmmaking? Just like others, from the classroom to playing lead roles alongside industry professionals.
Where are you from?
Madagascar.
I am the law.
The whole setup is rather.
Tomorrow, it is an order. Stand down. It's choking you. I've been a shock you.
Join our strictly practical filmmaking summer camp masterclass 3.0 as you'll be filming directly from set, learning hands-on from industry pros on acting, cinematography, drone piloting, TV and podcast presenting.
That you will take your power back. That was an absolute no-no for me. And that ended every talk about coalition, because it was very, very clear that the coalition was engineered to produce Atiku Abubakar as his flag bearer. Now, I still say this today. I'm throwing this challenge to this coalition today. Make a pronouncement today that the flag bearer of this coalition will be someone from the southern part of Nigeria, so that the second term of the Southerners will be finished. Make that statement a categorical statement, and will admit you through the front door and say that there is a conversation to be had. I'm throwing this gauntlet now. Let them know this. But you see that this is going to be the hardest thing for any one of them to do, because it's a coalition that has been designed and engineered to produce Atiku Abubakar as his flag bearer.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we purpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
What we found that the general is not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we purpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
What we found that the general is not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News.
Well, welcome back from that break. And I want to really start a discussion with you while waiting for my guests, because they actually kind of had a little delay, but they will soon join me. But while waiting for them, now, Nigeria is the only country we have. I want to borrow the word of the former president, and we must make Nigeria work. But 2 years ahead of 2027, and all we could see surfacing the news everywhere, the only thing we could literally talk about now is 2027. The faction from one party to the ruling up progressive, and why to, of course, to other political parties though. But it does look like it's not like it does look like. The reality now is that politics and the 2027 election, that is 2 years ahead even, has taken over all that we should be saying, or rather divided our attention or drifted our attention from the things that really matter, from the life of the ordinary Nigerian. So what's your thought? This coalition that sees the political figures of people like Atiku Abubakar, Nasir Rufai, David Mark, Peter Obi, and the rest of it. Is this really a coalition for the common Nigeria, or a coalition of personal interest? Because that's the question on every Nigerian lips now. This coalition, and now talking about this coalition, we know that all these people, political figures, all have the interest to becoming the president. Now, who will become the flag bearer of the new ADC? Right now, I think I'll have to bring you my guest. So just sit and relax while we'll be right back. Welcome back from that breaking. Now, as Nigeria sits at the edge of, is it all about politics or all about Nigeria economy? Is it about the common Nigeria or all about personal interest? I'm being joined by Peter Akahu and Precious Ogrushi. Both are human rights activists. They've been the people we've been waiting for. And of course, there are people you've probably seen, not probably, you've certainly seen, either on the internet or on national TV. So, gentleman and gentlelady, glad to have you join me in the studio.
My absolute pleasure. Good to be with you, Messi.
Good to have you. My pleasure. Now, we don't have time because, you know, I had to wait for your arrival. So, quickly, the coalition that saw the political figures like Atiku Abubakar, Nasiru El-Rufai, David Mark, Peter Obi, and of course, I know that you both as human rights activists are heavy supporters of Peter Obi. Is this coalition really Peter Obi?
Do you agree to that? I'm a human rights and youth advocate. I don't have any partisan.
Okay, no, I mean supporters.
No.
Not really. Okay, not
We
really.
just support what we feel is right. We support a better Nigeria.
A better Nigeria, okay. But then, this coalition, is it the coalition for the common Nigerian, ordinary Nigeria, or is this a coalition of political party and personal interest? I'll start from you.
Well, thank you very much for having me. For me, I have made it clear. I even put out a video on the day that the coalition came together. We have seen a coalition before. In 2014, there was a coalition that brought the APC government, Buhari, and today we have President Tinubu. And the only reason why we believe as Nigerians that people must come together to take out an incumbent is because we have a flawed and criminal electoral process. All the persons who ran for elections in 2023, if INEC had done the right thing, there was a winner. And if we are too scared to fix INEC, it then means we will continue at every election cycle. We need to come together of politicians to see how they can get power. And I have made it clear, I'm not interested in a coalition that is just a coalition to get power for the sake of power. It has to be a coalition that is interested in fixing insecurity, inflation, hunger, out of school children, unemployment, poor health infrastructure, and all of the issues that are facing us. So yes, do we need a coalition at this point? Of course. But most importantly, we need an electoral reform, which is what I and we have been clamoring for and all of that. But then again, there are politicians who are there. We are also going to scrutinize the character, the capacity and competencies of the specific individual that the coalition will come up with. And we hope that it is more about the national interest than personal interest. So if they are able to manage it and come up with a consensus candidate who embodies this character and competencies, why not? We should all rally around the person in the best interest of our country.
All right, please, I would love to hear your own opinion of this coalition. Is this a coalition for common Nigerians or a coalition of personal interest and, of course, political party?
I think it is too early to judge. We should give the coalition time. With time, it will all unveil itself.
But how will you trust politicians?
And that's why I said give it time. With time, they can't hide. The stench doesn't take long. It comes out. So if it's going to be for the interest of the populace, we would know with time. If it's going to be for their personal interest, we would know. It's all about time. And just a short while. Let's be patient.
Well, the politicians who are there, have track records that we are all still going to school tonight.
The track record, but every Nigeria is saying these are old same people. The old same stories we've been here.
Nobody will come from space to become Nigeria's president. Even in the US system of democracy, where there is, it is advanced, you see somebody be a governor, be senator, become president, a son of a president can become president. The important thing is that we test your consistency to the good of the people. Do you have a track record of using public office for public good? Have you been able to be prudent with public finances? Are you a thief? Do you take delight in embezzling public funds? Do you invest in critical areas of infrastructure, in human capital development, in education and all of that? So it is a good time for Nigeria to pay attention to all the characters that will put themselves out and let their records and antecedents speak for them. So if it is about their old recycle, of course nobody will come, not a rookie will be elected president. Somebody will have been at the political scene, but within that fire that you have been put around the political, are you tested and have come out without a stain and still proven that you can trust people? Then why not? We should go around with that person.
And looking at it from another angle, the tides have changed. At time past, people were not really interested in politics, like I was saying. People were not so interested in who they were going to vote for. I think we have migrated from the time of getting to the polling unit and being told who to vote for to actually knowing those contesting. So right now we know everybody in the coalition. We know their past history. And they know we now know them, and so they will be in their best behavior in this coalition.
Now let's talk about assessing these people, like you've said. These people we have the former vice president there. We have two-term governors. We'll talk about Amechi. Amechi is a two-time governor. Peter Obi is there. Nasiru El-Rufai. These are two. That is why I refer to them as heavyweight political figures. And now in all of these, and if you I don't know if you listened to Rotimi Amechi yesterday, you'll see that he has everybody wants to be the president. So then who best wears the crown among these people who have held offices? Former governors, former vice presidents, some are former ministers. So who do you think fits best?
If I give a name to that question, I think I'll be campaigning indirectly. So we'll allow the people, like I said, let's not be in a haste. Let's give it time. They know the body language. They know who the people want. I'm not going to state it here. The people, the coalition team, the masses, we all know.
I don't myself might not know. So.
Oh, yourself might not know. Oh, you don't know.
That's what I'm asking you.
will give. I know what Messi is trying to do. Messi is trying to suggest us to a candidate. I won't do that here. You know, we all know what is best for Nigeria. When that time comes, it's going to be obvious. The coalition will know, the masses will know that this is the direction. This is where the pointer is leading, and I know we'll be there. And Peter, what do you think?
Yes, I mean, in addition to what you have said, let us be honest. Even because trying to push electoral reform and trying to be non-partisan, we saw what played out in 2023. A person came from somewhere, left the ruling, the main opposition party, took a party that was completely obscure, and was able. They said he had no structure and all of that, and they saw what he was able to do. As it is now, it is incumbent on all the political actors in the opposition to know that it will be detrimental to come with a divided house unless you want to give an automatic second term to the incumbent. As it is today, the existential threat is ensuring that this reign of terror and this failed system of government goes away. So that will involve everybody shelving personal ambition and rallying around one person. Who will be that person? He must have a national spread. He must have been proven to be with the people and the people with them. And if you put all these indices together, your guess is as good as mine. All right, well, viewers, at this point, we'll just allow you join the conversation for a very short period by opening the phone line so you could call and give us your thoughts, even though our time is fast spent and we have very limited time. Now, let's look at it from this other angle. This is, they call it the Southern time. Now, who do you think would complete the remaining 4 years from the South? Because the truth is, whether we like it or not, if this is not going to be zoned to the South, the possibility or the chances of unseating this current administration is almost impossible.
That's true.
Is that a question or for me?
For any of you can take the question.
Please, you can go.
Okay, what's the question? Who do I think?
Yes.
Well, I strongly believe it should come to the South. Politics is politics. And if it's the turn of the South, it should come to the South. The North should wait their turn. That is my thoughts about zoning.
President. And this is his last chance. Atiku wants to be president.
If Atiku loves himself more than the country, we'll know this time. That's why I said, we'll know if it's about personal interest or the interest of the populace. You know, Atiku needs to look at the country right now and see if he would push further with his intentions, or if he will consider the plight of the masses.
And what's your thoughts? Look, to be honest, I hope and I wish that Nigeria will grow beyond this politics of zoning, where we will put merit and capacity or competence. Mercy, if the person who can fix Nigeria is an Igala man, the Lord be with him, please get the job done. Out of the about 15 or 16 heads of state we had in 1960, more than 10 have come from the northern region. How has it impacted the welfare of the persons there in terms of out-of-school children, in terms of poverty and all the economic indices? But then again, we must face the reality. We are a country that has our own federal character and ethnic divisions. The PDP made the mistake the last time in 2023 that cost them that election. Every part of this country, the North and South, have always had the shots at the presidency. They decided that it should have been microzones even to the Southeast, but they decided to throw it open because of the personal ambition of the former vice president. At this point, it is important that you read the body language in the room and you see that you have an opportunity to become an eternal statesman. At almost 80 years of age, I mean, it is incumbent, it is okay if you sit back and say, let the country move forward. You took somebody as your vice presidential candidate in 2019, it is because you believed in his capacity. And if you know that for justice and equity and fairness, it is important that this section produces a leader, and that section have brought one of the most competent, I think it is just rational that every other political actor rallies around this person, especially when you know that this same person has the national spread, the support across all geopolitical zones, as proven by the INEC results of 2023, as flawed as they were. So without, it is no gainsaying that we know, they know what to do. It is up to them to decide whether we will do what is right in the interest of the country or we pursue personal interest and then still be detrimental to the entire country.
Anyway, there's a certain way we know that politics runs in this country, and when we talk about that way, you mentioned track record, and also I will tell you, I will bet you that when it comes to politics, when it comes to their inner calculus, there are a lot of things that are being considered. And now, if this coalition must survive, it has to be zoned to the South, at least for the Southerners to complete the 8 years tenure, the second term, I mean. Now, looking at the people, the heavyweight figures we're seeing in this coalition from the South is Peter Obi and Rotimi Amechi. But a lot of, do you think that looking at Peter Obi, of course we know there is a group of people known as the Obedience, and they of course have a very big momentum. But then if you look at, would you think, or are you worried that if these people, this political elite, might say that, oh, okay, it will be coming from the south, and of course an option, but looking at how he has moved from APGA to PDP, from PDP to Labour Party, and now from Labour Party to ADC, do you think they can trust him, his loyalty? Because when you come to politics, when you talk about politics, loyalty, it's a very big thing you cannot trade.
Well, if you want to talk about loyalty, is it loyalty to
the people
or loyalty to a party? If you
to Nigerians is loyalty to the people, but in politics.
Yes. Mercy, everybody in the coalition. I mean, Atiku was the one who led the NPDP that left to form the APC. Amechi was the DG of President Buhari's campaign in 2019, in 2015. He became his minister there. One thing that has been consistent with Rotimi Amechi, with Peter Obi, is the fact that he has always seen political parties as a vessel into public office for public good. What was the reason why he went to the Labour Party? Because the PDP decided to go against its own internal democratic mechanisms. And that is why it got to where it is. But aside whatever platform that he is, the most important thing is the character and consistency of this person in managing the public trust that is put to them. And let us not forget, in 2027, it is not just about these opposition figures. It is more than 200 million victims of reckless and irresponsible leadership against a failed system. We are talking right now about opposition and coalition. The president is in a country in St. Lucia granting scholarship to foreign people when students in Abuja have been at home since February. Inflation has gone up out of the roofs. Killings have become a daily thing. What this current APC government is producing for Nigeria is the textbook definition of how not to govern a country. Nigeria almost exists so that other countries can learn how not to govern their countries. So this is failure on steroids. So it does not even matter whatever that the opposition shenanigans that will go on or coalition. The Nigerian people are hell-bent on delivering and liberating ourselves in 2027. So it is even a sign or a message to the coalition to do the right thing. Because once you get a better candidate in your consensus, the easier for you, because the people are waiting.
Yes. And we all know who the people are with.
The savior.
Yes. Savior of democracy, savior of Nigeria.
We know why the Labour Party today, the Labour Party chairman should come and talk as chairman now.
Press release.
He has asked Obi to
in 48 hours.
As the power vested on him as the party chairman.
Okay, he's now the party chairman. Because there are about 3 of them, so we don't even know who is giving 48 hours. Which of them is giving 48 hours?
Is it Apapa or Abu or the
Arababi?
We know that Peter Obi seemed to be the people's favorite, but then members of APC have argued that Peter Obi looks desperate because we knew at the time Atiku picked him as a running mate when before he left the PDP. So a lot of APC members of APC have described him as a desperate politician. What do you think?
Are we all not desperate?
That is so rich.
That is
coming from APC. Desperate.
Are we not all not desperate to make Nigeria? Let's even talk about it from the positive aspect.
Yes.
Are we not all desperate to make Nigeria?
To see Nigeria work.
Why are we here by this time of the night granting this interview? Because we are desperate to see Nigeria work. If I have to go to another station to make it work, I will have to go. I will go there. If Peter Obi needs to go to heaven to become the president to fix Nigeria, let him go there and fix it. Yes, we are all desperate to make Nigeria work. So zoning into just Peter Obi is cowardice. And let's talk about desperation from negativity. Who is more desperate than Tinubu? Oh, President Tinubu, I'm sorry. Who is more desperate than him?
You see him as a desperate?
Yes, yes. You've been in power. You've been governor in Lagos State. You did all you did there. You've been taking pension. Hold on. He's been taking pension and all the benefits as governor. His wings are spread across Lagos State. Tinubu should have retired even before 2023. But by all means, he said it is my turn. I must be president. They rigged the election. He took the mandate to run with it. We'll be stagnant. He's not running with it, but he's still desperate. That's why 2 years into government, 2 years and 2 years into government, you have started campaigning for 2027, and you are not desperate. You are not governing. You are campaigning, and you are always more desperate than Tinubu.
I want to understand this coalition. This coalition, is it is it a wake-up call to save Nigeria? Because oftentimes when I speak to members of APC, they say that past administration and past governments are the ones who put this country in the at the bleeding edge where it is, and they've asked, okay, 2 years in office is just quite too small to assess or examine the performance of the president, and they've come out to ask for more time. Don't you think
2 years is enough time to know the direction and the headway of any visionary and competent leadership? And look, let me make it clear that there is nobody that is more desperate than a group of power-testy individual or a person or politician who takes power for the sake of power. President Tinubu said, it is my turn. It is not because I want to be your Nelson Mandela. It's not because I want to be your Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. It is because I have helped people get there, and it is a reward. And the desperation led you to take power that has now proven your own inadequacies, because you are unable to deliver. 2 years, you are commissioning a 30-kilometer road of a 700-kilometer project. So what is happening in Nigeria? Obi has always stated that I am desperate to see Nigeria work, and he has proven it. Anybody that is desperate to get power for the sake of power, President Tinubu,
you think he's the savior Nigeria needs?
I mean, as against what? As against what we have right now. Let the APC come with the flip side and let us have the argument. What have you been able to achieve for 2 years in office? Not one single major project started and completed. Rather, there is desperation in naming monuments and national properties by the name of the president who is still sitting.
But they have
so that is just failure on steroids.
4,000 women giving birth through CS for free. Is that an achievement?
20,000 children out of school.
20 million children out of school. Is that 36 kids in Yobe, 600?
33% unemployment.
13 kids in Anambra State. What has it achieved? Turning using how many billion to renovate?
39 billion to renovate an ICC, and then naming it after the person who renovated and not the person who built. What level of mischief? Nigeria, as the former Kaduna State governor said, is run by political bandits, and by 2027 Nigerians must end that reign of terror. This cannot be the way to govern a society, and we can. It is about our lives. People are dying in Plateau, in Benue, in Zamfara as we are talking. So sitting down there and playing politics with this is being extremely mischievous and deceitful. Nigerians must wake up and know that 2027 it is our survivor. So all of these shenanigans they are doing will have to end.
Stop.
And what if at the end of the day this coalition did not head straight? You know, you never can trust politicians.
If you follow me on social media, the straights have been direct about 2027. In fact, I'm not waiting for the coalition. I've already started sensitizing our people as much as I can. Rig and go. I don't know if you've seen that caption.
Yes.
Oh yes, rig by everybody. We are not going to allow them do to us what they did to us in 2023. Go to the polling units with your voters card. Go with the one hand will carry the voters card, the other hand will carry what we used to defend the voters card. Whatever the DSS or the security agencies makes of that, I don't care. But we need to vote, and it will come. If they would not reform the electoral rules, if they will not give us electoral reform, then let them know by all means we will defend our vote. This suffering cannot exceed 2027 is the benchmark for Nigerians.
How many more years?
We might not even get to 2027, but let's just say worst case scenario 2027. That's the benchmark. If coalition does not work, electoral reform does not work, Nigerians will take their country back with their
the criminality that took place in 2023 will not be sustained. By 2027, Nigerians must look. Mercy, for how long? If you are under oppression, for how long do you fight for freedom? As long as it takes. Yes. We are ready to liberate ourselves. It was APC complained of 16 years of PDP. APC has done. By the end of Tinubu's tenure, it will be 12 years of APC. Remember, Tinubu said that he will start from where Buhari stopped. So nobody should be even telling you that he has just 2 years. He believed that Buhari did so well that he needed to start from where he stopped, and he will hit the ground running. He hits the ground. We don't know whether he stood up or from there or whether it is running. So as it is right now, democracy and a bad governance does not exist in a vacuum. We are the collateral, and we, the collateral for this democracy, are ready to fight and save our own self. Mercy, let me not spend all my life in under bad and mediocre leadership. For how long do you want to continue?
All right, thank you so much. Thank you both for coming. It's sad that we have to draw the conversation here because our time is fast spent, and this is where we have to say thank you so much indeed for coming.
My pleasure.
So much.
Frenchies. That's what we know you for.
Yes.
Thank you so much indeed for your opinion. We really do appreciate, and we hope that the Nigeria we pray for come to come to life someday.
Amen.
And so that the past leaders who has fought this hard and who has fought for this democracy will be proud of this nation called Nigeria. So that when we go out and say Nigeria is the giant of Africa, we say it with our full chest.
It's truly.
All right, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain, and thank you so much for sticking around. Until we come your way some other time, do have yourself a great evening, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye for now.